The record button. Small group tonight. Everybody's out partying and playing. And hey, Jane, Ksenia, Jason, good to see you guys. Well, I will do Zoom live trainings for one person if they want it. So, because I've got 3 more to do tonight. Hey, Jason. All right, so before we get started, I want you all, you ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put something up here real quick and let everybody know that. I'm gonna play a little video, and I want you to watch the video. It's a long video, but I'm only going to play the first part of it. But I just want you to watch this and kind of get an idea. This is from a true story, and some of you. Oops, hold on, just a second. I'm reading something. I want you to watch this and just kind of sit back. It's an entertaining story. The gentleman telling the story is a very close friend of mine. His mom and dad are close friends, and my son-in-law used to work with him. He's one of the top leaders in Keller Williams in our area. And if you know anything about Keller Williams Real Estate, Keller Williams is a network marketing company. So they teach a lot of the same principles and things for building their real estate business as we do. But this is a very, very powerful story. So I'm going to share this with you real quick. It's not very long, and I just want you to sit back. Can everybody see that okay? Yes? All right, so here we go.
January 24th, 1848. At Sutter's Mill in Coloma, California, a man found a rock that glimmered. That rock ultimately contained gold ore, and that single discovery and news of the discovery brought approximately 300,000 people to California from across the country and across the world. The gold rush was fueled by a desire for a life-changing payday. That's what drove these people. Now, what we know is there's a specific man that we're going to be talking about here. This man was named R.U. Darby, and he caught this gold fever, and he went west to dig and grow rich. He staked a claim, and he went to work with a pick and a shovel. The going was hard. This work was really hard. It was extremely dirty, yet his lust for gold and that elusive payday was definite. Now, after weeks of labor, weeks of hard labor with no return, he was rewarded by the discovery of the shining ore. He needed machinery to bring the ore to the surface, so, quietly, he covered up the mine, retraced his footsteps to his home in Maryland, told his relatives and a few neighbors of his strike. They got together money for the needed machinery and had it shipped out west. The first case or car of ore was mined and shipped to a smelter. You see, a smelter took the raw ore and refined it to what you see on the screen as precious gold. Now, what we know is, through that process, what came out proved that R.U. Darby had one of the richest mines in the state of Colorado. Now, just a few more cars of that ore, like it had been coming out, would completely clear the debt that he had incurred to buy the machinery. Life was good. Energy was high. Excitement was at a level it's never been before. Down went the drills. Up went the hopes of Darby. Then something happened. The vein of gold ore that he'd been mining disappeared. It literally vanished. They'd come to the end of the rainbow, as they say, and the pot of gold was no longer there. They drilled on, desperately trying to pick up the vein again and again, all to no avail. Finally, they decided to quit. They sold the machinery to a junk man for a few $100, and they took the train back home, tail between their legs. Some junk men are dumb, but not this one. No, this one, he's smart. He called in a mining engineer to look at the mine and do a little calculating. The engineer advised him that the project had failed because the owners were not familiar with fault lines. His calculations showed that the vein would be found just 3 feet from where Darby had stopped drilling. Turns out he was right. It's exactly where they found the gold. This very junk man took millions of dollars of ore from the mine because he knew enough to seek expert counsel before giving up. Ultimately,
Moral of the story. Most people quit and give up right before they strike that huge load of ore. Now, the gentleman Darby, R.U. Darby, he ended up going back to Maryland, and he vowed that he would pay back all of those friends and family all the money that he had borrowed to go out there in the first place. And he did, but it took him years to do that. Where was the junk man? The junk man was swimming in millions of dollars because he understood to get a good mentor, follow instructions, and do the work. Now, for this one story, which is a true story of R.U. Darby, this happened back in the 1800s. And we all know, we've all heard the story of the American California gold rush and what went on. I think the date he had there was January 24th, 1848. But that vein in Colorado was one of the largest veins of gold they had found in the country. And all it took was somebody with enough understanding, initiative, and no ego to just take counsel from somebody else, not be afraid of listening to somebody and doing what he was told, and boom. And you guys have all seen the graphic where the guys on top, 2 people on top, and the one guy at the top picture is this far from hitting the diamonds, and he's got thrown his pick down, and the guy on the bottom is taking that last swing and broken through and found all the diamonds. I look at each and every one of you like that. I don't want to take a lot of your time tonight. I want to, we did, I don't know, I think I did probably 20 meetings last night, and Ksenia was on every one of them. So she's ready to go. We have 4 days left. And I'm just seeing so many people that are pushing hard, are putting out that extra effort, are going the extra mile. People that are right there. We've got a young lady on Troy's team that I am convinced she will hit 5K this month. She's got 3.5, actually 4 days left. Today is not over. So, and she's at over 3,000. I don't know what her number is right now, Troy.
She's almost at 3,500.
3,500. So she's got what, 1,500 to go? 1,500 to go. Divide that by 4, and you do the math. It's not a lot. And we have the opportunity here, and this kind of really hit home with me this morning when I got up, because I woke up thinking about all of you guys in a good way. And I can't sometimes, I pinch myself when I think about the opportunity that we've been given here. I mean, I woke up this morning and I spent the night with thunderstorms here all night long. And the West Coast from Seattle all the way over, they've been traveling over. It's been raining and nasty all day today. I finally see some blue sky out there this evening. So I was aching. I was aching and didn't know, man, any other time a year ago, I would have woke up and said, "Oh, I'm aching, man. I don't." And I've got bottles of hydrocodone and tramadol and all this stuff that I just don't take that the doctors keep giving me, and I just keep putting them up in my medicine cabinet. And then when I'm a little low on money, I go sell them. No, 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 I didn't say that. but um, I just got up this morning and reached over at my 750, Red Hots. I love the cinnamons. It reminds me of my kid when I was a kid, and the Red Hots and the toothpicks. Bob, remember those toothpicks? I mean, I used to love those things, right? And within 10 minutes from then, I didn't even realize it. I'm working away. I'm going forward, and I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. I was feeling, pretty cruddy, 10 minutes ago. And it just got me thinking about, man, what we have here, and what a tragedy it is if we don't tell people. I think of, Bill and Laura's story. I think of Bobby's story, of Troy's story, of all of the stories that I've heard, of all of the people that their lives have been changed, that they've been going through something for years, and all of a sudden, now, I've got a it looks like maybe a cyst, but when I went to the doctor, they said, no, 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 it's not a cyst at all. It has nothing. What happened is when I was in the military and in my career, every once in a while, you had to, kind of hit something, nothing that I would hurt. But anyways, I turns out 20 or 30 years ago, I jammed this wrist. And it wasn't up until just recently that I have very little, if I try to move this, I have very little movement in this wrist now. And I went to the VA hospital and got it x-rayed. And when I had my appointment with the orthopedic surgeon, the orthopedist, he looked at it and said, I've seen a number of these throughout the years, especially with you military people, but I've never seen one this bad before. Your joint here is all pushed down on top, and all the bones are spread apart. And he said, I'm surprised you can move that wrist at all. And I looked at the x-ray and he was showing it to me, and I'm like, okay, all that stuff's not support. There's no cartilage in between anything. It's just all bone on bone all the time. So every time, and I'm left-handed. So every time I try to do anything, it can be very, very painful. And I asked him, well, what can you do? What's the remedy for this? And he said, well, there's really only one. And I said, oh boy, more pins. He said, oh yeah, no, we can't. There's no pins we can put in. We can't rebuild it. We can't do anything like that. What we do is we literally fuse your wrist to the bone. So you go from having this much movement to this much movement. You can't move it. You can't move it this way. You can't move it this way, but you can move it this way. So I would have to get this fused and have virtually no, and then you have to learn, how to move your arm, because you can't twist. So if you're going to itch your back, you can't do that. You've got to try to, And I'm sitting back thinking, it's like, okay, Lord, God, when I pass away and they cremate me, boy, it's going to be like a heyday for metal. Because I've already got, this shoulder is all metal. They replaced this shoulder joint. This is all metal. My neck's metal. My chest is metal. My knee is metal. And so now I'm going to have I don't know, I wish I could put bionics in. But the reality is up until I got involved in this business, it was either hydrocodone or tramadol or a ton of, Tylenol is useless. It doesn't do a thing. Until I found this stuff. So I get up in the morning and throughout the day, I'll just stick my little finger in there and I rub it over my wrist. And a few minutes later, I totally forgotten that I've got a, totally damaged, useless wrist here. Why wouldn't I be telling people about that? Why would I not be shouting that from the rooftops? And that's just my story. I, you all know we've all got stories, and we hear stories every single day. Now, I've seen so many articles recently come out about cancer, and did I say that? I didn't say. I was talking about the zodiac signs. I've seen articles about Libras and Sagittarius. Okay, so I didn't really mean cancer, the disease. Okay, just in case anybody's listening or watching, I was talking about your what's your sign? But let's say your sign was cancer. I don't know. Maybe you're born under the sign of cancer. Now they're saying that you could take CBD oil to get out of that sign and go to maybe become a Libra. I'm a Libra, right? Right? Sorry, did I recover? Was that good? So the more and more, it's been one of those days. The more and more that we see these things out there, the more and more passion you should be getting. The more and more commitment and dedication you should have. I know when I got off this meeting yesterday, we had a meeting with Lily's team, and Ksenia was on it, Yulia, and a lot of other people on her team. And I don't know how they all ended up feeling, but I could see a lot of people bouncing off the walls at the end of that and wanting to do, something phenomenal. And I know, Ksenia and Yulia and some of the other people are just Terry and Janie and the Marias, and they're bouncing off the wall wanting to do things. Here's the part that I don't want you to get stuck in. I don't want you to get stuck digging for gold and find that you're not getting any and get frustrated and sell your tools and go on your merry way. Okay? That's why I wanted you to hear this story. This gentleman, Ben Fairfield, and I have been friends for a long time, and when I saw he had put something up there, he's doing this for his real estate team. That just really hit home with me. And I've seen there's a couple of websites out there that tell the story, and it just made so much sense, because that is the biggest thing that most people get stuck on. They get to that point in their business, and all of a sudden, and especially, the sad part is it hits people like me and Troy more than it hits you all, because we've had some success. And then all of a sudden, maybe somebody quits, or we're just not having this, I'm at like 46,000. I'm sitting back this morning thinking, oh no, am I going to qualify 50K again? What's going on? But the reality is that I was at this place last month, and 2 days from now, actually on the 28th, I woke up and I was at 50K. It's not in my hand for the results. It's in my hand for the process, and to stay, working the business and going. And will I ever quit this business? I've never had more dedication, commitment, and vision on a business that I've had in 40 years. So I can tell you from my perspective, unless Josh and Jen shut the business down, if it takes me 2 years to get to 500K affiliate or 250K affiliate, I'm here for 5 years and beyond. I know and believe in what we have, and I know that it is not going anywhere. And we are in a place that is phenomenal. I've got a gentleman right now that's got a huge contact list and some top-notch people in Nigeria that we're meeting with on Monday. Guess what happens when Canada opens up? Guess what happens when Europe starts getting samples and all of the full spectrum? Guess what happens when all this stuff breaks loose? And it's going to, yeah, exactly, Bobby. It's going to be like, Christmas in July. Congratulations to Lynn. She's an executive now. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome job.
It's good.
We are at a place, and some of you, I've seen this before in companies, and I don't think any company's ever, going to be, for a while, going to go through as big as what we're going to be going through. But I've seen so many people that have been involved with this kind of a situation, and something came up. Squirrel. Oh, maybe I'll go try that now. Oh, maybe I'll go try that now. One of the things I love about Robert Hollis and Aaron Parker right now is their focus. Robert's focus is beyond belief. He's, by the way, guys and gals, ladies and gents, he is going to be announcing some amazing, amazing training. Now, Bobby, I think you probably heard about it, but Troy, maybe you have, I don't know, but he's going to be doing some stuff, and it's going to be open to everybody, free. It's going to be, he and his two sons, Robert and Matthew, are putting together something that's going to happen very, very quickly, and it's going to be some of the best training that he's ever done, all free to anybody that we want to invite to it. It's going to be phenomenal. He was talking about it at the Inner Circle meeting on Tuesday, and man, I can't wait. It's going to be huge. Why is he doing that? Because he sees where this company's going and what it's doing. He said the other day, he said, I can't think of a scenario that would take me away from this company right now. Here's a guy that really could have his pick and choice of anything he wanted to do with his reputation, right? So to me, that's a clue. That's a clue. And those of us that are here right now, if we can stay the course and keep doing what we're doing, are going to have such a huge benefit. Can you imagine sitting on top of a team of 10,000 people? Can you guys imagine that? 10,000 people, what your income would look like every month? And what it would be like to see so many of your team walking the stage and having success. And so many people, it's not just all about the money, it's about the success of these people that, are gonna, that you're gonna bring on, that you're gonna mentor, that you're gonna lead. So 4 days, three plus days left. We've talked about, how you've got to be willing to pay the price. And I believe every single one of you here are committed and willing to pay the price. The next 3.5 days, this is when you pay the price, right? This is when you pay the piper. This is when you put anything and everything that you can do, pedal to the metal, to end June in as big as you can end it. As explosive, just washed my lips, can't do a thing with it. As explosive as you can do, right? You want to be in that place where when you get done with the day, you don't need a sleep spray because you're so exhausted from what you've been doing that you just pass out, right? You wake up the next morning raring and ready to go at it again. It's a short season. The planting, what's great about the planting season? The planting season is typically very, very short, right? How long does it take a farmer, Bobby, you know this, right? How long does it take a farmer to cut the lines, lay the seed, cover them up, and ready, right? Boom, it's done like that. The rest of the time is what takes all the time, right? The harvest and taking care of it as they break through the ground, as they start growing, as the weeds come up, as the weeds are all those people that are trying to steal your dream from you. That's what's taking a long time. The time that we spend planting the seeds is the shortest period compared to the harvest that we get. And that harvest is the fortune, right? That's the thing. That's not only the fortune in the money, but the fortune in everyone that is on our team that's having success and rank advancing and doing all these things. that's having all this amazing success, that's all part of the harvest. But most of us die out during the planting season. It's like we were talking about yesterday, right? Can you imagine a farmer going out and going, okay, when we used to do this as kids, if I told my mom, okay, Mom, I planted a seed this morning, on 10 acres of land that we were trying to grow stuff on. Yeah. After my dad had taken his belt off and I grabbed the bag of seeds and jumped on the tractor and started again, of course you wouldn't do that. And we laugh about it because it's just ridiculous, right? But yet in our business, we've got to think the same way. We've got to be out there, and I pick on Troy a lot because he's a good brother. But he's in a place where he is planting seeds every single day, driving his car around. Right? Planting seeds every single day. And I know all of you guys are. I know all of you people are. I know that you're going out and planting those seeds. Here's the difference. Think of it like popcorn too, right? How many of you have gone out and you guys remember the Jiffy Pop? Do they still make that? Jiffy Pop?
Yeah.
And I used to thrive on that stuff when I was a kid. Just because I loved it, the way it popped up and everything. But I don't care what you did at the end of that popping, when you opened it up and tore the aluminum foil open and ate it, there were all of we used to call them, and please no politically correct stuff, we used to call them old maids, right? Did you guys call them that? The old maids were the ones that didn't pop, okay? And my mom used to always say, man, look at all the old maids, look at all the old maids. Your business is exactly like that. The heat, you put the heat on, and you put as many kernels in there as you can, right? You just keep putting kernels in. You keep putting kernels in. A lot of my kids worked in the theaters when they were younger, and it was great because they got to see that. They were always taking scoops of kernels and putting them in the popcorn machine. It was a constant flow, right? And all they had control over, all they could control was the kernels that they poured in there and the heat that they put on there. Which ones popped? They couldn't, they had no control over that. Did they have, my oldest son, Christopher, my middle son, Christopher used to say, at the end of the day, they were scooping up so many old maids, so many kernels that didn't pop, right? Is our business any different than that? No.
Yeah.
The difference in the successful people and the people that are struggling is the successful people are always pouring the kernels in. They're always pouring more and more kernels in. They're always planting more seeds. If you can get your business to that point where you wake up every morning and you are so phenomenally blown away with excitement that you can't, it's like, kids, man, you're gonna have to go play in the pool or go chase your tails. I don't care right now. I've got an hour that I need uninterrupted because, man, we are gonna have you're not gonna believe the life we're gonna have if you let me do this. If you let me do this, you will not believe what you're going to be able to do in a year or two from now. The vacations we're going to be able to take, the people we're going to be able to help, the things you're going to be able to see. I have friends that are multimillionaires, and you know how they homeschool their kids? When they're studying about Italy, guess what they do? They go to Italy. Was that somebody's dog barking? Is that why we're laughing?
In the front of the house. Sorry, I'm in the back.
That's okay. That's okay.
Just move me if you have to.
It sounded like a little tiny dog compared to what I'm used to hearing barking. So
It's the Jack Springer.
yep. So I want to. What time is it? I had to take my watch off. Okay. So
Get going here.
who's got questions? Troy, give me. Actually, I'm gonna. Betty, I will go ahead and mute you right now. Troy, dazzle us.
What do you want to hear?
I just want to hear some.
Yesterday, I went out driving for Uber and Lyft, and one of the gentlemen, can you guys hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Okay, cool. And I met this gentleman from Los Angeles, and he was on his way to the airport. So I only had about 10 to 15 minutes to talk to him. But in that amount of time, I found out that he had 4 kids. I found out that he was from LA. I have 4 kids also. I found out that he was a fractional CFO for multiple startup companies, and that he's really into companies that are the fastest growing, biggest companies and all this stuff. So he had done most of the talking, and we're just arriving to the airport, and I held up my business card and I said, well, then you probably want to know about the fastest growing network marketing company in the world then, don't you? And he said, yeah. And I gave him my phone and I said, all right, see this app right here? I want you to type your name, email address, and phone number in here. And since we're parked right in front of the airport and they're going to want my car to drive away, I want you to watch this 35-minute video as soon as you get home from our CEO about the fastest growing network marketing company in the world. And so he said he's going to do it. Really sharp person, really sharp person. And then later that day, I was picking up another young lady. She's about my age, about 29. And anyway, she was on her way to breakfast, and she was going to be meeting with a company that it was going to be potentially the largest sale she's ever made in the construction industry. And I said, again, I was having her do all the talking. And in sales, I spent 15 years in business-to-business sales, you guys. And in sales, one of the secrets to sales, and I'm going to write this book someday, is the secret to sales is to never sell. If you're having to sell, then you're actually working too hard. And so I let her do the talking the whole time. I kept asking her questions so that she had more and more, because people like to talk about themselves. And at the very end, we pull up to where she's going to have breakfast. And I said, you are amazing at how you told me your stories about all these companies that you talk to, and how you build these relationships and how you get these sales. I said, I am looking for people just like you. And I'm sorry we didn't have time to talk about it, but here's my business card. Text me. Well, actually, I was out of business cards, but I have an Uber and Lyft card that has my cell phone number on it. I go, text me, and I will text you back the greatest opportunity you ever saw in your life. But you see the confidence level that I have when I'm talking to people, when you've built your business to 5K, 10K and above, and you've actually gotten a check that deposits into your account that's over $1,000. You start to have that confidence. And I had that confidence early on, but the exciting thing is she texted me later last night, and I sent her directly to our landing page, the HempWorks BizOp page, in My Daily Choice, and she pre-enrolled this morning. So 2 really high caliber people just from having a conversation. So lately I've been really focused on not talking so much from the head, but telling my story and talking from the heart. And you guys, I've been in network marketing for 24 years. And this is the first company. I've been with 2 that were shut down that I was doing pretty well in. But this is the first company that I've ever made 5 figures in. And I'm just here to encourage you guys to just tell you that this is the right place at the right time. I'll be coming up on my first year in the business and have earned about $12,000 at that point. And, income disclaimer, I can't guarantee that you'll make the same because I don't know how hard you'll work. But this is the deal. We are so grateful. And when I see Ron Deering in Las Vegas and all of you in Las Vegas, I give him a hug for the first time. I'll thank him for all the support. But I have to tell you, I feel like I have failed forward. Like I could do way better, and we could all do incredibly bigger and more. But it's a team, and it takes a team effort. And so we've got to all get to the road shows and get to the convention, because that's where we're all going to be around each other, like-minded people, and be rejuvenated. So those weeds are going to be gone, and there's going to be a lot of fertilizer there, and there's going to be a lot of water, and then we will get regenerized. And I'm sure with all the new things that they're going to launch, products and countries that we're going to go into, next year is going to be huge. But we have to build right into the convention.
Awesome. Now, I got a quick question for you. When you had the people in your car and you were talking to them, and I know you were on a time restraint.
Yeah.
So when we talk about simple process, right? Say as little as possible to as many as possible, as quick as possible. That was a perfect scenario. But you you obviously had a script, right? You pulled out your script and you started following your script and you
No,
looked and said, oh, okay, guy that does really big businesses. Okay, that's the script. Oh, lady that is really successful. You right? You didn't do that?
no, no.
Man.
Ron and I come from old school network marketing back in the Amway days, and there's an organization that's still a phenomenal organization. But years ago, they taught me an acronym called FORM.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know what to say and you just are stuck, you guys, and you don't know how to start the conversation with somebody, if you remember that, and people use the letters differently, the way I remember it is the F is asking people about friends and family and maybe where they're from. And it's so easy when I'm driving for Uber and Lyft because they're flying in and out of the airport. You can ask them where they're from and all that, and they're telling you all about it. And then occupation is the next one. What do they do for a living? And then R is recreation. What do they like to do for fun? And then at the very end, they deliver the message. And, sometimes people say, well, you drive for Uber and Lyft. What else do you do? And that's the easy one. They're asking me, but you got to be ready. You got to have your elevator pitch. You got to have your 30-second commercial that you're ready to say when they ask you that. So for me, it depends on the person and how the conversation's gone, but I'll say something like, I've actually partnered with the largest cannabis company in the United States. They are the fastest growing company in the world, network marketing company in the world right now. And I was just so lucky to come across this company last July. And I did it because of, and like Ron said, we got to be careful of these medical terms. So I'll say I was in a dark place and I was having some anxious feelings. And I got off of 50% of this stuff by taking this stuff. And, I'll tell them my story. And I said, you don't happen to, know anybody that's also struggling with different things and could benefit from these things. Have you ever Googled what CBD oil, will do for you? The next thing you know, they're telling you all kinds of reasons why they'd want help. And and then sometimes it's about money. I run into a lot of people that they're working restaurant jobs. They're working things that just don't pay the bills. They're working careers they're not necessarily happy with. And so we have the ability to ask somebody, if I was to show you something that you could make an extra $500,000 a month, would that be something you'd be interested in? And we just have to ask. So
One of
no
the things
script.
that you just said that's so powerful is there's a book out there called Question-Based Selling. And I was taught many, many, many years ago by a gentleman by the name of Tom Hopkins. And Tom Hopkins is about 3'11". No, he's maybe taller than that, but he's a really, really tiny young man. But he started out in California in real estate, and he's just hilarious. But his first year in real estate as a 19-year-old sold 1 million homes. And this was back in the 1960s when homes were going for $15,000, $20,000. You got to sell a lot of homes like that. He started off with, he didn't have a car. He drove around on a scooter. He didn't have a suit, so he wore his band uniform. I mean, his stories are just hilarious. But he learned along the way that the power is in the questions. It's like we always say, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. And if you can ask the right questions and find out where people are coming from, because they don't really care about your dream. It may even be the same as theirs. They may want a nice house and you want a nice house, but they don't care. They want to know that you care about them. And you do that by asking questions. And, Troy touched on your elevator speech, and basically it's, what that really is just, you're standing in an elevator, right? And someone says, what do you do? And I get asked that all the time. Well, what do you do? Are you retired? It's like, yeah, kind of. But really what I do in my passion is I teach everyday average people how to add an extra $500 to $1,000 a month working from their home. And an amazing business that is it is the fastest growing industry in the world right now. that something you might be open to hearing about? So it's a simple, 4 or 5 liner, 2 or 3 liner that you memorize, and it just comes out, rolls off your tongue, just like it's second nature, right? It's that thing that we talked about with Bruce Lee, where you keep doing something, one thing, you get better and better and better. I want to tell you this story real quick about John Maxwell. John, if you haven't read anything from John Maxwell, you're missing out. Pick up anything, the 17 irrefutable laws of leadership. Running with the Giants. I think I've got every book that he's ever written. I was honored and privileged quite a few years ago now, to be in a room with him and about 12 or 15 other people, one-on-one, and he sat on a chair in the middle of the room, and we just kind of sat around him and just pumped him full of questions, and he's just an amazing, amazing man. But he was telling us about, and the one thing I remembered mostly was he was telling us about how so many people look at the skills they have or their strengths and their weaknesses. And if I were to say to you, okay, what do you think that you need to spend your time on? Those areas in your life that you're weakest at, or the areas that you're strongest at? Well, most people are going to tell you, I need to take the areas that I'm weak in and start bolstering them up, boosting those up and making them better, right? Well, statistically, what they have found is, you can hear the monster out there. He's just going crazy right now. Statistically, what they have found is you could put every bit of effort into your skill set or areas that you're either weak or strong in, and you're going to move them up, let's say in a scale of 1 to 10, you may move them up a point, maybe if you really go at it, 2 points, right? And that's working on them, all the time. So what he said was, let's say that you're really not that good at closing, but you're good at prospecting. But you want to bring your closing up. So your closing, you're maybe at a 2, and you work really hard and you get it up to maybe a 3 or maybe a 4, right? So now you're at 3 or 4 and you're closing. And maybe you're at a 6 on your prospecting. And you work really hard on that, and you get that up to an 8. What do you think is going to have more benefit for you? So it was at the time when he was teaching us this, it was so counterintuitive, because I kept thinking, well, yeah, I know what you got to do. You got to work on your weak points. You got to get your weak points. Well, no, you don't. You find out where your strengths are, and you take them from 8 to 9 to 10. And you know what you do with your weaknesses? You get good counsel and you find someone that can close. You bring in, if that's the scenario that you can prospect and get people in front of the presentation, you just can't close them. You get them in front of the presentation, then send them to a closer, right? Mm-hmm. But become that best 3-point shooter in the world. You may not be able to do a layup, you can't dribble, you can't do anything else, but when it's down to the wire and someone needs you to take that 3-point shot, they're going to give it to you, because you've taken the time to take that strength that you have and take it to the top, instead of working on a weakness and bringing it up a little bit. So that's what I encourage you all to do, is remember, what Troy said. He's in a position where he doesn't have time. And that's a perfect funnel to be in, where it's not, you don't have to just make it up that I just don't have that much time, we can't talk right now. You're driving someone to the airport and they're getting out, they got to catch a flight, and so you've only got a few minutes. You need to think like that, so that when you're talking to people, you can get into that mode of saying as little as possible to as many as possible, as fast as possible. Boom, boom, boom. Get as many people in your car at a time as you can. It's like have the 2 doors open and someone comes in, sits down, you do your thing, kick them out the other side. Someone comes in, you do your thing, you kick them out the other side. And if they don't get out, you drive a little faster, and then you turn the car and let them fly out, whatever. I didn't say that. Don't quote me on that, please. But that's the secret to this business. It's nothing more than that. It's not, what script I make fun of this, what script are you going to use? What script are you going to use? And after we talked about that yesterday, I think I had 20 people reach out to me during the day, the evening and today, asking me, hey, where do I find the script for? And I knew what they were looking for, so I sent them to the files, area in Deering Dream Team and that. But I wanted to say, between your ears, it's right there. Go to the mirror, look between your ears, and click on that button. It's called your nose, maybe, and that's where you find the script. People want you to be you. They want you to be you. You all, I know each and every one of you. You all have amazing personalities. I know when I talk to Laura, we're gonna talk about the animals. We're gonna talk about Bill's knee, which is really ugly right now. And I know, her personality and how she's going to tell the story to me and how she's going to, I know when I talk to Ksenia, I'm going to have a certain person. I know when I talk to Bobby, she's going to be bouncing all over the walls and telling me her story and telling me what's going on. Lynn's got, her personality, and she's going to talk to me and she's going to tell me what's going on. And I know Ellen's got the big smile going on, Sue's going to be, she's got her way of doing. Bob, you've all got your own way, right? Betty's got that smile and, she's ready to. People need to see that. I love it. Jane shows up on these trainings and she is doing so well. And every time she talks or speaks at any of these Zooms, I love, because it's her. It's her speaking.
Ron, I have a quick question.
All right.
Can you update us about this Nigeria thing? I have two friends who live there, and there are professional executives. Are we allowed yet to contact them, or is it still in the process being set up and we need to wait? Or what's the update on that, please?
I'm trying to find that out exactly but I wouldn't wait. I would tell them if it's get them to pre-enroll.
Okay.
I certainly, if someone asked me that today, and I said, absolutely not. Do not wait.
Yeah.
Because if it is not available for them to buy the product right now, if they've already pre-enrolled, they're on your team. And then as soon as it opens up more, you've got them. If you wait, someone else may grab them. But
okay.
it's
and
very
then my
close.
second question. Okay. And we will be getting updates about that, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Nigeria.
I
my
go
second.
to My Daily Choice official Facebook page every day and check.
Yeah. Okay. My second question. I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. On Aaron's promotion and yours too, we talked about in the beginning of the month, if we could rank up to executives, somehow we would be in a rotator lead thing. And I ranked up, but I'm not sure if I qualify. I mean,
Well,
do
you're
I have
not
to
sure.
have people under me? All I did was buy in at this point because I'm so new. I bought products like you mentioned.
That's how you become an executive. So you should be able to look on your dashboard and it should say executive. And it may not.
Yeah, but am I eligible for those
absolutely.
leads?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where everybody, there actually is a way to become an executive without buying product. And I just don't know what it is. So I just tell people to get the product. So, okay. But you are eligible.
Thank you.
Ellen?
I just want to mention to Betty, some people are getting confused, and the way you know if you're getting any hits on your website from being an executive is to go into the mdcpowerteam.com, click on statistics, and what is that, join?
The join page.
Join page. And then just look down and there's going to be a line item that says rotator.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah,
And the other thing that you can do is go into your My Daily Choice back office and go to Contact Manager and look for new pre-enrollees.
okay, thank you very much.
You're going to get leads from the rotator,
Hmm.
but until they become pre-enrollees, they're just leads.
I know,
Mhm.
I know.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta say goodnight. My battery's dying. I'm
Yeah,
getting
mine is
on.
too, but
but-
I just take a boost spray and that'll get me going again. Night, Betty.
No, my battery on my phone.
I know.
On the phone. Good night, y'all.
Good
Love
night.
you.
Night.
Bye.
Don't ever take me serious. Life is too fun, right? Life is short.
Okay,
Good night, Betty.
right.
All right.
Good
Anybody
night.
else have a quick question?
I had a question, Ron.
All right, Jason.
You had posted, it looked like it was a post from last year, but I was ignorant about it, that where Josh had updated sprays for like a 6 month and a year qualifying for
Oh yeah, I deleted that too, but yeah.
it. Yeah. Do you have any specifics on that, or?
Yeah, that's been around for a long time. I just thought it was new. I thought he did something new, and then I looked at the time after I put it up there. Okay, here's what that is. And I did a video. If you go out to the Deer and Dream Team YouTube channel and look at the qualifying packs video, it'll tell you about it. But basically, what it is what you can do is you can purchase a 6 month qualifying spray pack for, I think it's $2.99, and you get, I think, 20 sprays. What it does is, for the next 6 months, you're going to get 50 business volume the first month when you purchase it, and then every month after that, 25 business volume will automatically appear in your back office. But even though it's only 25, you still are qualified as an executive. Okay, so I don't promote this a whole lot because it's great for people coming in that are really concerned about whether or not they're going to be able to purchase the 90 BV every month. So they want to stay qualified for a 6 month period. And there's a 12-month one also. The 12-month one is, I think, $5.99. So it can be good for them, but it's not good for your team when it comes to volume. So and people tend to do what you do. So if you do that and everybody in your team does that, and you're sitting back going, wow, I got 20 people on my team and I'm still not a 5K affiliate. What's going on? Well, it's because they're only getting 25 business volume every month. And you need a lot of them to do that, right? Instead of 90. Plus, you only get paid on that first 50. So you don't get paid as big a jumpstart bonus. But I've got probably about a half a dozen people on our team that did that. And every month, like clockwork, the first day of the month, boy, that 25 BV from everybody hits. But here's the other thing they gotta remember that's only good up to executive, right? So that keeps you as an executive, even though the requirement for most people is 90. If you want to get to 5K affiliate, you've got to add another 65 BV each month to that, because you have to have 90 to get 5K and above. So it has its pluses and its minuses. If you talk to Aaron, he stays away from that like a hot potato, boy. You know, and I understand what he's saying, because people tend to do what you do, and if you've got a lot of people doing that, even though you're going to have a bunch of people qualified for an executive for 6 months, your volume is going to be really low. You know, and what you're really trying to build is volume, right? So I hope that answers your question, Jason.
Yes, thank you.
Brian,
It's been around for a long time.
in that case, the person would also not qualify for binary either, would they? Because they wouldn't have 90 unless they bought up to the 90.
They, what was that? It's Christopher Livingston calling me, our new 25K. I don't know the answer to that. They only need 40 to be binary qualified. But
Oh, that's right. That's right.
so I think they still would initially.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I can't talk to you right now.
Yeah, bug you on another one.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I was doing kind of a cold calling with emails. Is there a latest kind of? I mean, that really is kind of scripted, right? If you were just sending out emails to cold, I mean, not emails, but messenger.
Let me take this real quick, guys, just to tell them, because I'm doing a training for.
Jason, you're talking about having some scripts that you could use in Messenger. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
The latest ones that you like on those, was it probably Aaron's or?
I haven't done a lot of those, to be honest, but I would say the ones that Aaron has in his group would be the ones I would use. Ronnie's talking about, using script
Scripted
for
emails.
Messenger.
Yeah.
Well, for Messenger, like if you're reaching someone maybe on a Facebook group or something.
Yeah, we have, and I really apologize, guys. The reason that Chris was calling was I got the time zone wrong. I'm supposed to be out in his training right now too. Jason, the ones that if you look at Aaron's, or if you go to files under ours, I've got something, I think that it says more scripts or miscellaneous scripts, and I've got the ones that I used in there.
Yeah, then going way back, like when Vision Team got started, they were really successful with those ones Melody did.
Yeah.
That's going way back there, but I guess it would still be relative.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, guys, I am sorry. I'm going to have to cut this short. I really apologize, but we've been going almost an hour anyway. So we'll do this. Tomorrow will be our last day. So get any questions or anything you have going, and we'll wrap it up with fire tomorrow.
Thanks, Ron.
All right. God bless everybody.
All right. Thanks. Good night.
Night.
Thank you. Night.